Tonight in 7 News Flashback, the birth of the Rural Fire Brigade in Queensland 60 years ago. It was started by one man who drove across the state, screening a film that encouraged locals to band together to save lives.
Since time began, we've relied on flames.
Fire is usually a friend. Without it, picnics like this, for example, would lose much of their appeal. Imagine, no fire, no tea.
But the film Friend or Foe demonstrated how quickly things can go wrong.
Hey, wait! That's no way to put a fire out.
The music and overacting hint at what happens next. Bill Smith's farm is overrun. The house burns down. He's hit by a falling tree, leaving a widow behind. And it's all the fault of the community for not having a rural fire brigade.
And you farmer friends of the Smiths, why weren't you organised to fight the fire a better way than you did?
Queensland's first secretary of the Rural Fires Board appeared in the film. Dick Healy travelled the state, screening it to packed community halls.
If you had a film projector, 35mm film projector, and you cast it up on a screen, people would look at it.
And at the end of the movie, he'd sign up the locals to form a rural fire brigade. Under Dick's watch, 1,600 fire brigade units were born with 40,000 volunteers. You could call him the father of Queensland's Rural Fire Brigade.
Yeah, grandfather these days. Great-grandfather, perhaps.
Now 92 and living at Enoggera, Dick often looks back at the old film which was shot in the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Back then, the men never had fire suits.
They had what they wore, what they were working with.
And they used whatever they could to put out the flames. So much has changed.
Equipment, the trucks, the vehicles, the hoses, the presses, the pumps, all that has gone miles ahead.
But one thing hasn't changed, the spirit of volunteerism that keeps the Queensland Rural Fire Service alive across the state. Dick says our worst bushfires were in 1951 when 3 people died. Nothing like Victoria's horror.
Certainly not in Queensland, fortunately for us, had anything of the scale or the nature of the fires that occurred in Victoria last weekend.
But the service fears the risk increases as more homes are built in bushland. Dick says a lifetime of experience tells him in the future we need to do more control burning.
There's 3 things that are needed for a fire. You need material, you need heat, you need oxygen. When you can't do anything about oxygen, you can't do anything about heat before the fire starts. The only thing you can do anything about is material. So you endeavour to reduce the material.
Dick marvels at modern firefighting techniques. We've come a long way since the first rural units began 60 years ago.